Edward Weston is one of the most important American photographers. He helped secure photography as an art form by being one of the first recognized as taking artistic photographs. Weston was given a Kodak Bullseye No. 2 camera when he was 16 years old. He began capturing the farms and parks around his home, and at the age of 17 his early pictures were exhibited at the Art Institute of Chicago. His hands-on approach allowed him to pioneer many darkroom techniques. He prepared his own sheet film, sometimes using silvery emulsion with so much silver you could see it piled up on the plate. His film was rated 16 on the ISO scale, which necessitated very long exposures from 3 seconds up to 4.5 hours. At 22 years old, Weston moved to California. He worked alone for several years, selling photographic services and making portraits, where his talent soon brought him recognition. He won several national competitions, published photos, and wrote articles for leading photography magazines. He worked in the soft focus pictorial style at the time. Pictorialists valued the aesthetics and emotional impact of their image more than what was actually in front of them. In 1922, during a visit home, Weston photographed the smokestacks of the Armco steel plant in Ohio. This series of photos marked a turning point in Weston's career. Detailed, clean, honest, and unpretentious, Weston captured what was in front of him in sharp focus without elaborate manipulation of the print. This new way to use his camera would inform his work and the entire field of photography. He had discovered the ability of photography to record objects in great and exact detail. Weston began photographing shells, vegetables, and nudes in 1927. The very same principles of light and shadow, density and depth, texture and shape are exploited in image after image. Nudes, dunes, peppers, lettuce, seashells, bark, water, rock. How natural forms are expressed through the lines and masses of their structure, the weave of their growth, tending and constricting, flattening out or scattered across planes, etc. This was the ostensible subject of most of Weston's prints. By finding his subjects in nature, he proved that photography could express power and visual tension just as well as painting. In many ways, he was the first to see that a photograph could be an expression of the same principles of design which painters had been thinking about for hundreds of years. It is this seeing that is Weston's greatest contribution to photography. Weston worked with several cameras over his career. Many of his greatest images were captured with an 8x10 Seneca folding bed view camera or an 8x10 universal view camera. In 1933, Weston bought a 4" by 5" Graflex camera. This was smaller and lighter than the large view cameras he had been using. This allowed him to interact more closely with his subjects. At this time, his nudes began more to resemble the organic forms, roots, rocks, and vegetables which he had been studying. Weston's commitment to clarity and simplification, and his interest in the formal qualities of mundane and everyday objects, defined his work as modern. By cropping and framing his subjects close, he created abstract shapes. And with this treatment, Weston is saying that portraiture can be arbitrary, and that abstraction is as important as capturing a likeness. This new, modern, clean, and honest style gained many champions who, along with Weston, renounced the pictorial style. A number of these photographers, including Ansel Adams, Willard Van Dyke, Imogen Cunningham, and Sonia Noskowiak, joined with Weston to found Group F64, which valued unmanipulated, straight photography. Their aim was to develop a new modernist aesthetic that was based on precisely exposed images of natural forms and found objects. F64 is the aperture setting these artists most frequently used to capture great depth of focus in both foreground and background. No longer did he seek to create beauty in conventional romanticism, but rather invited the natural beauty of his subjects to reveal themselves. He was not the first to expose and reveal the natural forms around us, but he was the first to bring the style to the public. He developed an approach which animated his subjects with vitality, light, and the muscular reality of their presence. This very capacity to reveal sumptuous, anthropomorphic forms is what makes Weston one of the greats. Weston has influenced my own perspective and caused me to look at my world and my photographic subjects, not just as people and buildings and rocks and plants, but as essential natural forms which relate us all.